a scale from 1 to 5, 6.
All right, what it is, y'all? It's your boy Alan C. back with another episode of U Buggin. This time I'm interviewing Javiel Morales, DC at our alma mater, Overlea High School. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? How you been?
Pretty good. Just trying to, do the solo pod thing.
Yes.
So I appreciate you popping in.
Oh, thanks for having me.
All right, no problem. How long have you been coaching?
In total, I've been coaching 14 years.
Right.
Well, going into year 15.
Okay. All right, where did you start? How did you get started?
I started actually at Overlea when I had a little break from college back in 2011, and I started coaching at Overlea as a assistant RB and assistant LB coach.
Okay.
Going back to college, played at Wesley College in Dover, Delaware, and then when I got finished up with that, I was kind of, I guess, recruited by our buddy Taywan to go coach Pop Warner at Rosedale. And that was in 2013. And ever since then, it's been just been coaching Rosedale, Concordia Prep, Perry Hall, Dundalk, and Overlea.
Shout out to Coach Tay, man, my brother, my sideline talk brethren. Always shout them out. Herb, Tay, John. Appreciate it. So how did you actually get – no, I'm sorry. Let me put it this way. What made you fall in love with the game of football?
Actually, when I was 4, I was not allowed to play back in Pennsylvania. I was not allowed to play with my older cousins and my older brother. So I guess that was something that pushed me to want to play it more. And I just learned more about the game through my elders and just being in the game, again, since I was 4. But when I found out that I was able to hit somebody and not get in trouble, I guess that's more or less what it came down to.
Definitely.
Why I enjoyed, the defensive side of the ball a little bit more.
Got you. So what position did you play?
So in high school, I played fullback, but it was in a wing T. So just a bigger running back. And then on the defensive side of the ball, when we were in a 4-3, I played linebacker. When we did a 3-3-5, I played the strong safety position. So when I went to college, I was recruited as a fullback, but was a lot undersized. Was the smallest fullback in the fullback room by like 40 pounds. So I went to the head coach, who was the defensive coordinator as well, and just pretty much asked him if it'd be possible for me to, go to the dark side, as we called it back then. So ended up transitioning to inside backer and, tried to play strong safety a little bit as well. It doesn't help when you're playing behind All-Americans, but it also helps you learn to play the game at a different rate, at a different level when you're behind All-Americans as well. So that's what helped me kind of hone my skills as well.
Okay. So you mentioned All-American. Who's some of your favorite teammates?
So longtime teammate is Gene Knight. He was somebody that I actually played football with from the time I was 9 all the way through the college ranks, which was fun. Another favorite teammate of mine was Marcus Wilson, who played defensive back at Wesley as well, but he also coaches at McDonough right now. So super talented guy. And then another one would be Aaron Benson, who was an All-American strong safety at Wesley when I was there. But he is now one of the recruiters and I believe a defensive back coach at Alvernia College or Alvernia University up in PA. But I got a lot of guys that, hung around with in college, even played with in high school, who were great teammates, great friends. I mean, because when you play football, it becomes a brotherhood. So it's kind of hard to just hone in on one or two. I did play football with my brother, Ariel, at Overlea and at Wesley. So, I mean, that's kind of one of the easier ones to say, one of my favorite teammates. But he's the guy that I kind of lean on when it comes to the X's and O's of the game. Probably one of the better brains when it comes to the defensive side of the ball. And Gene Knight challenges me on the offensive side of the ball just because of his brain and how it works with that as well. So I just, gravitate towards guys who know the game at a high level.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Ariel was one of the best brains I've ever, came across, football and just life in general.
Yep.
Shout out to him. So what's some of your favorite things about coaching defense?
The ability to teach physicality and allow kids to come out of their shell. I mean, you run into a lot of kids who have always grown up bigger than a lot of their counterparts, and they're afraid to be physical, right? Just because they've always been told, hey, you're bigger than them, be careful. Now, as a coach, I get to say, you're bigger than them, show it, beat them up. But in the right way, right? Like you also have the capabilities of teaching life into these kids, because when you're able to teach life into them, then they start to realize that football does teach just like grit, right? It gives you a backbone in life, allows you to then know how to carry yourself. It also allows you to learn how to work with others, which is a huge, huge thing when it comes to the workforce, right? Because football doesn't last forever. You're always going to have to learn how to work with others. And I think football is a great tool to be able to help kids realize that and be able to utilize that moving forward in life.
Okay. Would you say that's also some of the challenges of coaching defense?
Physicality, teaching kids to be physical. Because sometimes there are kids who are just literally born with the physicality, or the physical trait. But then there are kids who are super athletic, have the capabilities of being physical. They're just afraid to get injured, right? And then, I mean, you also have, those fans in the stands who feel like they know better than the coach on the sideline. And those are the ones who kind of take away from the ability of the kid, because now the kid plays a little bit more timid because they want to appease the person in the stands, as opposed to just listening to the person who's with them day in and day out on the practice field, watching film, even in the locker room when we're breaking things down. So that would probably be the biggest challenge when it comes to coaching the defensive side of the ball, because, you get a kid who's at a place, everybody hates you, but then you hold, one of the higher scoring teams in the county to the lowest total that they've scored all year, and you still don't get praised, right? You're always seen to be the bad guy by a lot of kids, because you demand a certain level of expectation. And if it's not met, you're still not, even though you win, right? Or even if they played well, they still feel like they haven't done well enough. And I'm pretty good at giving kids their praise when it's earned. And I'm always seen as like the tougher coach, the one who's never pleased. But it's always, that room for improvement aspect. But I guess that's what also makes it fun.
Okay. So you mentioned the physicality part of it and teaching that. How do you go about teaching the mentals of defense or just football and life in general?
So it's a really good question, for the simple fact that mentality is 100% what is required to play a physical game like that. Growing up, everybody always called it a contact sport. Then when I got into high school, my high school coach, Keith Robinson, always told us it's not a contact sport, it is a collision sport. You got two guys going 100 miles an hour and trying to see who's going to win, right? You're literally breaking another man's will. And if you have the mental fortitude to know that you'll win some, you'll lose some, then it just have an idea that it comes with the game. But also mentally, you can grow into a person who's going to win more than you lose. Whether it's open field tackles, whether like even as a defensive coordinator, it's calling out the proper defense for the offensive play that's being called. And on the offensive side of the ball, it's calling the proper offensive play to beat the defense. Right. So, and these kids being able to learn to have the mental fortitude to be able to put everything together, and know that mistakes happen, and also know perfection is attainable, right? Because the mindset of knowing what you're supposed to do, how to do it at the rate of like how you're supposed to do it, that's the biggest aspect to being able to teach kids the mental portion of football.
Okay. All right. How does it feel being back at the alma mater? I know you've been there for a moment, but just to see those kids walk the same halls and go through the same football things that you used to do back in the day.
It feels weird, I guess you could say. And I tell them all the time, and like now I feel like the old head or the unk, as kids like to say today, right?
Right.
But it's like when I tell them, I was like, they would not have survived in the era of football that I played in, right? When it comes to like what was required, like when it comes to the amount of running, right? We used to have 2-a-days. That's something that's not really allowed anymore. Or like just walking through the halls and be like, man, like the weight room being inside the school now, as opposed to us being able to get outside of the school and separate ourselves from everything to go downstairs to the weight room.
Right.
That's a bigger aspect as well. And then just hearing a lot of things from like kids like, hey, coach, how was it when you were here? And I tell them like Overlea was a powerhouse for the better part of a decade. And we also saw other powerhouses in and around the county. And that's what made Overlea so well known when it came to the physicality aspect, and just because of the guys that were put into college, right? The likes of Raynard Horn or James Carman, like those guys, like you can't teach size, but you also can't teach the physicality that those guys came with. And that's what I'm trying to get it back to, is Overlea being seen as a school that puts out physical athletes that are also going to be great men when they walk, onto a campus to play at the next level.
All right. Off the record, who's your least favorite team to play against, and why is it Hereford?
Said mine is Hereford?
I said, why is it Hereford?
Okay. I was about to say, Cowbells, they suck. Everyone hates them. And I mean, I as a coach, I've only beat Hereford once, but that was on the JV level. Get another stab at them this year, and it's going to be their senior night. So plan on ruining that. No better feeling than ruining a senior night or a homecoming. But outside of Hereford, it was Milford.
Okay.
Because, man, they just always found a way to win. Always. And when you talk about a team with great physicality, great athleticism, and great mental fortitude, that's one. They still have it to this day. Coach Reggie's still doing his thing up there. Then they got, good mentality in B. Jones as their LB coach. There's just a lot of guys there that have been able to build, for years, right? And I think them now, getting, I guess, the face and the brain of Ray Rice coming into that program is going to make them that much better.
All right. I mean, I know your mental fortitude is, just me and you talking football, and you really know this game.
Yeah.
What would be what level of success is expected this year? I mean, of course, championship, but what will make this a successful season?
So a successful season, isn't even on the football field. It's getting these kids to have 3.0s. Because the tape is going to speak for itself. The numbers will talk. And they already increased productivity from year to year. Like the year before I got there to last year, we gave up 100 less points over the course of a season playing one more game. That's a big feat, right? Now, I'm not expecting that to happen again, like giving up 100 less points from last year. Would it be great? Yes, it's great. That's a great expectation to have. But the expectations to win a county championship is there. You know, like we have the team to be able to do it. We have the coaching staff to be able to put forth a county championship team. It's just the buy-in has to come from the kids. But as far as the expectations, I think the county championship works more in line with what we have for us. And I think we can make a state championship run. I think we can make it the Navy. It's just like given what we have, you know, we don't know all of the tools that are in the shed yet. We know what we have so far, but we also don't know what can come in from, you know, kids coming from out of state, right? We don't know what can happen from kids changing, you know, locations in and around the county. So a lot of things can change with that, but with what we have, I think a county championship is a realistic expectation.
Gotcha. All right. So before I get you out of here, one last question. When is your first game and who's against, and you know, kind of plug that so I can come out. Definitely, U Buggin is definitely trying to be more so in the community.
So first game's actually dope. We played Douglas, Baltimore City, but we play at the Under Armour Stadium. So that's going to be dope. It's going to be on a Saturday. The time is still due to be determined. I believe it's September 6th. So that's a Saturday. And that's going to be a great week one. I'm going to come out there in the new unis, kind of show out and try to put on a show.
All right, brother. I do appreciate you for taking your time to do this interview with me.
Yes, sir.
All right. That was my interview with Javiel Morales, defensive coach of our alma mater, Overlea High School, the football Falcons. Definitely trying to get out there, go to a game. But we got some preseason action starting tonight. Atlanta Falcons is taking on Tennessee Titans. Michael Penix had a interesting practice, I should say, against the Titans. Somehow, some way, they got into a scuffle, and nobody has the footage. I don't know how you get into a practice scuffle in today's day and age, and nobody has that footage on their tape, on their phone, anywhere. But Mike in Tennessee got into a little talking match that became physical, and he wound up on the bottom of the pile. Coach Morris said he wasn't going to play tonight anyway, but get a lot of action out of Easton Stick, quarterback in his second year, I believe, out of North Dakota State, and Emory Jones, I believe, rookie out of Cincinnati, went to Florida and transferred to Cincinnati for his last year. So expect those two to play tonight. I'm hoping I get a good look, and my second look at Cam Ward playing quarterback tonight, as well as others trying to make the team. The pass rushers from Atlanta that they picked up in the first round this draft, mainly James Pierce, trying to see how he translates in the league. He was I believe I had him second. Y'all could definitely go back on Substack.com and look at my edge rushers. He was either second or third. I think I might have had him actually second over Mikal out of Georgia. But James Pierce is one of those guys that if his head is on correctly and he stays out of trouble, he's going to be an amazing player in this league. So got James Pierce in tonight's game, starting at 7, so I'm not going to be too long today. And then at 10 o'clock, you got the Chiefs and the Seahawks. I don't know if Pat's going to play or if he does play, how much. But Seahawks is definitely trying to get their young core together. A couple position battles on the interior line. Depth at wide receiver for them. So both of these matchups, if you're going to be up late into the night or depending on where you are watching this from, late, early into the night. But for the Seahawks, their backup, Jalen Milroe, should get some good quality starts against Kansas City team that got good depth on their defense. So definitely, like I said, we're gonna get y'all out of here early so we can catch these games tonight. But I want to talk about wide receivers, top 10 wide receivers in the league. A lot of them are getting paid. A lot of them are now impacting offense and scoring and winning a lot more than they were previous years. So my top 10 wide receivers, let me know if y'all agree. Definitely when we put this in the thank you to those that's watching on the Twitch channels. You know, let me know if y'all agree when we go through these wide receivers. First one is not even need to be said. Mr. Triple Crown himself. Jamar Chase. Like I said, it doesn't even need to be said. Doesn't even need to be explained. Jamar Chase is number 1. And his fellow wide receiver from LSU, Justin Jefferson, is number 2. Right? That's pretty much a no-brainer. If y'all want to argue that, y'all just want to argue. Number 3, I got A.J. Brown. I don't know what y'all agree. But I got A.J. Brown, physical, run after the catch, jump ball, all of that. Yeah, A.J. Brown is that dude. All right, and coming in at 4th, I got CeeDee Lamb. I was hating on bro. I was hating on him, but nah, don't play with him like that. CeeDee Lamb is the truth. And then rounding out my top 5, I got Amon-Ra St. Brown. Right? So my top 5 so far, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown, CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Again, good hands, great route, run after the catch. It's not much that Amon-Ra St. Brown can't do at a high level, at least a great level, or not great, good level. Right. And then coming in number 6, still have Tyreek Hill. I know the Chiefs got better without him, but Miami would be lost in the sauce. To stay old school with my saying. Oh, that's old. But Tyreek Hill, I don't think we need to say anything else. He's still one of the fastest men on the field, if not the fastest on the field when he out there. Tyreek Hill, I'm putting number 6. Number 7, I'm putting Puka Nacua. I think football just comes easy to bro. All right, he's talking about he want to do this, and this before he retire, and he's only like 27. Football just comes easy to bro, and he's just thinking through and just playing and having fun. So Puka is my number 7. Number 8, I'm putting Devontae Adams. Again, old man, but route running is still top tier. Still top tier. Still good separation with his route running. His hands is still great. So I put Devontae Adams at 8. Number 9, I'm going to put Mike Evans. Hasn't had less than 1,000 yards in the season. And he missed a lot of time last year. Still came back and got 1,000. Mike Evans is one of them. Like, he's just very consistent. That's the best thing I can say about him is he's consistent. I know consistent is boring and he don't get the highlights, but very consistent. And then running out my top 10, I'm putting Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin is my top 10. Washington, stop playing. Washington was considered an overachiever last year with JD. And Terry McLaurin is part of that reason why they did overachieve. And before they got Jaden Daniels, the only thing that was worth watching in Washington was Terry McLaurin. And Jonathan Allen and Payne. But on the offensive side of the ball, Terry McLaurin was that. And still is. I don't know what they doing, holding his contract hostage. Go ahead and get that man $28, $29 million to keep it pushing because your team would definitely not look the same without him. So just to recap, top 10, Terry McLaurin, that's 10. Mike Evans is 9. Devontae Adams is 8. Puka Nacua is 7. Tyreek Hill, I put at number 6. Amon-Ra St. Brown is 5. CeeDee Lamb, I'm putting at 4. A.J. Brown was 3. Justin Jefferson, Jay Jettis is number 2. And Mr. Triple Crown himself, Jamar Chase, is the top wide receiver in the whole NFL. Go to alubbuggin.substack.com. Going to be more breakdowns and why they're in my top 10. Some honorable mentions is on there as well. So definitely go to alubbuggin.substack.com. All right. Tomorrow night, Baltimore Ravens is in Dallas, and they are taking on the Cowboys for that second matchup of the preseason. I want to come back on here not after the game. The game started at 7, but probably Sunday morning and break down. And I'll send out the link to the group and see if anybody want to come on. But just to talk about this game, want to see and what I want to see and X factors of this game and things that coaches might be looking for. I don't know how much of a battle it is at right guard, but much has been made of Daniel Farlele's play at right guard, his physicality, his hand placement, taking false steps. So I don't know if him and Ben Cleveland is actually fighting or is that locked up, but we definitely need to see more consistency across the board from Farlele and with the offensive line. The starting offensive line got to get ready. And they got this game and one more before, it was live, but you got Lamar Jackson behind there. So if Ronnie Stanley is being held out, again, Ronnie know what to do when you get in there. Actually, at this point, I will hold out Tyler Linderbaum as well. Tyler know what to do when you get in there. But Voorhees, Farlele, and Rosengarten, they're young. And like I said, the bullet's about to be live. And you only got 8 more quarters before you got Lamar Jackson behind them. And Derrick Henry behind them. And they need the time to get to Bateman, and time to get to Zay, and time to get to Likely, and time to get to Mark Andrews. And all the weapons that the Ravens have, it starts up front with the offensive line. So that needs to solidify and be good and start solidifying in preseason and working together. Also, Mike Green and this defensive edge pressure. Ojabo got home on the sack last week, but it was unimpeded. He pretty much had a straight run to Anthony Richardson and bent his finger. So I want to see what Ojabo does, if he can actually set the edge, if he's actually, playing. He's fighting for a spot. And I don't know if y'all peeked that last week, but when they were talking about the depth at defensive end and edge pressure, his name wasn't on those graphics. So he is actually fighting to stay alive and stay on this team and stay, have a roster spot. But Mike Green, the second pick in this draft, see if he can still flash. His bend is ridiculous coming off the edge. So see if he's still out here making plays. Peebles was great. Jay Higgins might be fighting for that second spot of linebacker. Jay Higgins is very intelligent, and he plays the ball in the air very well. He trusts his eyes what he see. He's always flowing to make and clog up the A gap, B gap, whatever he see, he flowing in. And you like to see rookies, even if it's a mistake, make a mistake at 100 miles an hour. Hey, he's an undrafted rookie. I think the only reason he was undrafted, he was slightly smaller linebacker. But they said the same thing about Ray Lewis. Not saying bro is Ray Lewis, but just because you're a small linebacker does not mean that you can't play the position. So definitely want to see what Jay Higgins is talking about. Rasheen Ali is auditioning for the rest of the league because I don't think there's a way that you can stash him as a running back. I don't think there's a way you're going to stash him as your running back at all. So Rasheen Ali is definitely auditioning for the rest of the league. The quarterbacks, so that we could see what we have at wide receiver. Quarterbacks definitely need to play better. Lamar Jackson is not touching the field, but Cooper Rush and Devin Leary need to play a lot better than they played on last Thursday. Because I don't know what that was, but that was not – it wasn't good. And if your quarterback's not playing well, you can't really tell what you got at wide receiver. And these wide receivers are trying to make some spots because you got Bate, Zay, Nook, and I'm going to say Tylen Wallace already locked in the 4 spots. Baltimore's a power run team, so you definitely going to need your linemen, and you definitely going to need your running backs. So to make that 53-man and try to make the game day roster, these wide receivers need to show and prove for what they have, and they can't happen without the quarterback play. So quarterbacks definitely need to play better, and I think they will going up against Dallas. But again, we'll break down the game and see let you know what I see tomorrow's game. All right. But again, that's on Saturday, and the rest of the games that's on Saturday this week. You have the Dolphins taking on Lions, they were practicing together today this week, and the reports was not good for the Miami side. Coach Mike might be on the hot seat, and if they're coming out playing soft, that's not boding well for his job. The Panthers is taking on the Texans. You must see Bryce Young, see if he's getting better. Green Bay Packers taking on the Colts. The Patriots playing the Vikings. Cleveland taking on Philly. Again, they were practicing this week, and Shador will not be playing. Dylan Gabriel should be getting the start this week for that game. At 4:05, you have the 49ers taking on the Raiders. We talked about Baltimore and Dallas. The Chargers and the Rams are playing at 7, so that's basically a 4 o'clock West Coast game. And Battle in New York, the Jets and Giants are playing at 7 as well on NFL Network. The Buccaneers and the Buccaneers and the Steelers are playing at 7. The Cardinals and Broncos are on at 9:30 on NFL Network. And then Sunday you have Jacksonville and the Saints. Travis Hunter was having a lot of practice this week, so we might want to check to see if he's playing for that game. Buffalo and Chicago. Much has been made about Caleb Williams this offseason, and they said Caleb Williams will be playing this preseason game today. What's that, Sunday? Yeah, Sunday night at 8. So that's on Fox. So that's a little national game. And then Monday Night Football, you got the Bengals and the Commanders. Monday night at 8. So first Monday night game of the season is this week as well. So, all right, that's my show, y'all. I'm not going to keep y'all much longer. You got football to watch. Be blessed, be productive, be more. I love you. We out.